We get a Brad who's nice. We get a new mommy girlfriend for Vash. Nothing bad could
Yes.
possibly happen to her.
And she doesn't start as like, oh, I knew you when I was 4 and fell
That
in love
really
with
helps. Oh, that
Yeah.
really helps.
you. Thanks for realizing what's creepy, guys. Moving away from it.
Hello and welcome to Is That Some Kind of Japanimation Thing? A show that definitely doesn't speak any Japanese, but will absolutely sing along to the lyrics, especially if it's of a Lark on Sale track. My name is Scott Wachter.
And I am Justin Moreb.
This show is brought to you by listener support through Ko-fi, as well as our monthly subscription box of Kyoto sweets. Again, this is a monthly mix of traditional handmade candies and confections from Kyoto, as well as packaged Japanese goods, including the magical Kit Kats. The magical Kit Kats of Japan. If you do not have access to an Asian grocery store in your neighborhood, you don't know what you're missing out on. They are white chocolate Kit Kats with all kinds of flavors, and they're wonderful. I literally, when I found out the duty-free shop had all the regional versions, that's what filled up my carry-on. Actually, was just like,
I'll just catch the next plane, folks. Sorry.
yeah, sorry. Like I think I might have to check this bag now. It's full of weird fruit flavors of Kit Kats. The link is in the description. Otherwise, we are returning to Trigun Stampede, covering 7, 8, and 9 this week, because this show's picking up steam. It is picking up steam real fast. Real fast.
Literally.
Yes,
Literal
literally.
steam is being picked up.
Yes, literally. Literally. But before we get into the plot, Justin, you have been betrayed.
Oh, no.
You have been betrayed not once, but twice. This series has offered you no Millie, and
None.
then no Millie of any
No
kind,
BBN.
not even a little. And then we all thought we would see your boy Brill, your boy, the Brilliant
boy.
Dynamite's Neon. And do you know what we did not see? No,
We did
none.
not see him. Like, what is that one guy gonna like most about the show? Tall lady with a big gun and it with neon and a hat and shoulder pad. Yeah, we're gonna cut that out completely. What?
You know, I now understand why the internet hates this show. Why even bother if you're not going to have a Brilliant Dynamite's Neon?
Is there gonna be a spin-off where they're just like riding the range, letting gun smoke? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hijacking stuff and Millie's just like, well, okay, well, fine. I just want her to go, man.
Just go Bandit. So we're picking up with we're picking up on the cliffhanger from last time, episode 7, Wolfwood, directed by Mie Oishi, known for Blade of the Immortal, Pokemon I Choose You, Epson Nisekoi, and Golden Time, which I haven't watched and probably never will. That's not a slight, that's just a lot of shows.
For a second there, I thought you were saying Pokemon Japanese word. Not Pokemon I Choose You.
Yeah, no. Pokemon I Choose You are the shorts. They're the new shorts that are very charming. Not to say the original Pokemon wasn't charming, but these are more charming. So we open on episode 7 as everything's going wrong. We've got goons flooding our steamship. We have Wolfwood and Livio shooting each other. And everything's going badly. Everything's going badly. Bob and Meryl have been kidnapped. We quickly learn, mostly so the goons can pose for photo ops, which is that is suitably hilarious. That is classic. Not like Old West, but like,
are they even goons if they don't have a leader? They don't have a big hat to follow, or are they just like a mass of bandits? An amalgam of bandits.
I mean, I think because they're all wearing matching outfits, they have to be goons. That's my thought.
The swarm, 9 neon draped. It's
Just morons, delightful morons. Vash demonstrates gung fu, in which he just hits guys. He's just hitting guys.
Is this a gun kata type thing, or do you have to shoot more for that?
I believe the problem with Equilibrium is that rather than develop, as much as they developed it, the problem with Equilibrium, as much as they developed, the theory of gun fu, the second it was time for melee combat, they just gave everybody katanas. Because, I mean, those are rad. And the movie just runs on what's rad. So, as much as maybe they could have thought about a way for Amanda, I don't know, throw spent mags in your face and gouge out your eyes or some other equally cool thing. Just straight to katanas.
No intermediary.
No intermediary.
While Vash is...
while Vash is punching dudes with a revolver, Nick is also engaged in much more Equilibrium-y combat with Livio. Much more Equilibrium-y. Both of them have healing factors, so there are no consequences for them emptying mags into each other's faces.
Just shooting one another endlessly.
Zazie is spying. Livio is fixated on Vash solely, so Nick can't get through to him until he sees Livio do a little reload trick, little reload his submachine guns. He does a fun little reload that reminds Nick of his lighter trick, and it's like, that is how I will get through to him, because the somatic memory is so much stronger than other memories. They hug it out a little. We get a little more flashback moment, and then Livio realizes that, oh shit, he's been a murderer for not actually that long, a few months, but he's been doing a lot of hardcore murdering. And so
once you hit a certain tier of murderer, the amount of time you've been doing it, not as important.
Yeah, this is some high density murder lifestyle. And he can't cope with that. He does not take this well at all. So, content warning, shoots himself and throws himself into the desert.
I do want to say, though, the flashback animation
still amazing. Delightful. Still great.
Yeah.
Love that style break. Love that they brought it back for this episode. Because as much fun as it was last time, it's fun that they kept it going, because I don't know it. I wasn't sure if they would. It's fun. It's light. It's got
calls back to their more innocent time.
It reminds me of more Belgian animation productions. There's something about it that feels a little Belgian, a little film board of Canada. Maybe it's just the color quality and the softer edges.
Yeah, and the lack of gunplay.
And the lack of murder. The lack of murder is also probably part of it. Very few Belgian cartoons about murder.
They get enough of that. Yeah. What Congo? I do like during the Wolfwood-Livio confrontation, Wolfwood is about to shoot him in the face. Vash shoots Wolfwood's gun, which then hits one of Zayce's flying worms.
Yeah,
was that intentional?
I mean, it is Vash and he is superhuman.
Yeah.
But also maybe he's just lucky. He's allowed to be lucky sometimes. And yeah, Zazie the Beast is spying on everyone with the worms. And it is at this point that Legato decides to escalate matters. Because it's one thing to set a giant cruise ship tank object vehicle to crash into an orphanage. Specifically an orphanage. Not just the town, but the town orphanage. No, he's going to be like, well, because this cruise ship tank thing is actually built of old starship parts, we're going to fire up the main battle cannon there, kiddos. So this thing.
I did. At some point, someone did acknowledge, we're heading to an orphanage, which is in a town.
Yeah, like it's they blew up the cargo plane. The cargo was people.
Ah,
Yeah. Anyway, doom is impending. And Bob is like, "Hey, you know what I want to do? Not be doomed. How about we leave? The neon guys, they're leaving. We can hop on with them. We're good." But Meryl's like, "No, I must help." So, everyone agrees to help. They're not doing this in a really smart way. Like, literally, Nick and Vash are just like, "No, we'll just hoist an entire main battleship cannon with our arms." They're dumb boys. They mean well, but they're very dumb.
They are not so bright. As I said, Vash is having trouble controlling his shaft. So, Roberto ditch, and he has learned nothing from Vash. He does not deserve to be called senpai. Wonderful Meryl.
No, he has learned nothing. He has deserved nothing. But fortunately, someone eventually thinks about some things, and they deploy the anchors on the boat.
Yes.
To try to like snap the cannon back, because that's a big thing going fast, and that could help. Not like your arms, Nick. Your arms are small. Big thing. Big
Sure,
thing. They're
wiry, though. They're very muscular.
Yeah. I mean, he does have superhuman strength. But no. Everyone decides to do a smart thing. Vash goes to try to talk to the plant that runs this thing. Nick goes to the steam. He takes on Kid's role. He takes on the Kid's role to go to the steam chamber to open that up. And eventually, all of this comes together. All of this work comes together to stop the gun from going off and hitting the orphanage and the surrounding, also occupied residential neighborhoods.
The city in which it is established. Someone, I love this so much that I wrote it down, but I can't remember who said it. But someone said, "I'll hurt you so bad you'll wish you were dead before I kill you." And that is pure poetry. Going to get that inked onto my body. That
I will cut you so bad. You will wish I had not cut you so bad.
But many serious things are happening here.
Yeah, Legato, upon seeing that his scheme has been foiled, it's like, well, okay, let's pause to pick up this dead guy. That won't amount to anything anytime soon. We'll just pick up this dead guy, and we'll leave.
That's not foreshadowing. Yes.
And then we see the inside of Vash in the plant generator room, and he's covered in the same sort of weird gritty lines as the plant, and that's a thing we learned. End credits.
Yes, I did. Did mention that Wolfwood sucked on his healing meth and ripped open the engine. So well done. Very similar, in fact, to the conclusion of a recent superhero movie. Yep, he did it by himself.
There we go. Team effort. So we jump to the next episode, Our Home, directed by Naomichi Yamato, best known for episodes 1 and 4 of this show, the spaceship battleship Yamato 3199 series, and eps on Blood Plus and Baram. Baram is another show I probably won't watch. Not to make anyone feel bad. I just picked it because it had an interesting title. I have seen Blood Plus. It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. Vampire the Masquerade. It's Vampire the Masquerade.
There's no downside to that. Properly done, that can be very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Shit, that never happened.
Yeah. All right. I mean, yeah, there's never been a bad Vampire the Masquerade TV show. That noise means
that's what happens when you mess with Clan Rouge, huh?
Anyway, we start on a flashback. We have Vash and Knives' first birthday, which establishes that Knives was always a petulant fuck. and that only Vash needs to eat.
Mm-hmm. Does he need to, or does he?
He needs to. He needs to.
Okay.
That is a thing that comes up specifically. But this is actually a nested flashback. He's watching a videotape, and what we're remembering is Crash Day. Crash Day from the first episode. But that turns into a grief nightmare. Fantastic grief nightmare. Fantastic.
Yes.
Bodies popping out of the sand. Abstract red haze. Very good. Very fun. And then we are now in the next level of the nested flashback where Vash wakes up on a seed ship that works with Brad and Luida, and they identify that Vash is an independent. It's like a plant, but different. They're independent. That's all.
Plant is the race. Independent is his character.
Yep, something like that.
I was very surprised. Is it so? Is it supposed to be the same? It's supposed to be the same Brad character.
Yeah, it's definitely like between this and the next episode, they have merged both Brads. Both of our Brads are now the same guy, and he's a much more reasonable guy. He's much more likable. He's still suspicious of the child who doesn't operate as a human, but he's like not threatening murder or sexual violence on anyone. He's a much better Brad.
That's
Also, we learned that I guess everyone on the seed ships just has really flippy haircuts. They'll have bangs with like asymmetrical bangs going on. In the space future, we will all have asymmetrical bangs.
people who can do that are in great demand. That is the most valuable skill set: managing a spaceship and cutting asymmetrical bangs.
We talk about hair a lot. We do.
Yes.
Not about character design, just hair.
Hair. Really, that's 80% of the character design on some people.
Absolutely.
There's like one personality attribute, and
so Luida is new mom. She's new mom. That's it. Brad is a jerk. Vash is put into space jail because I guess they don't know what else to do with him. They slowly figure out some things, mostly that as being part plant, he should be able to produce a thing. Vash should produce a thing. All plants produce a thing. Why don't you produce a thing, Vash? That can't possibly be a MacGuffin for later. They also pieced together some things from Spaceship Fives, the one Rem was wanting, that their black box. We reintroduce the fact that Vash has a lot of when he feels guilty, he has disordered eating. This is a flashback to the worm episode where he didn't eat because he didn't feel like he deserved it. And I'm like, no, that's good. This is a new addition. I really like how you're connecting these parts. Specifically knowing that, Knives doesn't have to eat, and he does. Adding that. Good layering. Good layering.
Yeah.
Vash is in jail. He's counting the days. Eventually, someone figures out another piece of the crash log, and at the same time, a plant overloads. Vash detects this. He is let loose. He fixes it, and he has a new job. His job is to fix plant overloads. He gets an apartment. He gets a job roaming the desert, fixing plants that overload. Got another montage. Brad becomes less of a jerk. We introduce the jacket for the first time.
Yeah.
New look, new story.
The first time chronologically.
First time chronologically.
Yes.
We get.
It is the star of the show.
It is very much the star of the show. We get Seed Ship 3 calling itself home. Because Vash is like, no, we should just call this home. We learn Brad has been poking at the logs from Seed Ship 5 a little more. He gets recording of Knives explaining his murder plan. Just here's how I did all the murders. Thanks for helping me. And Brad is like, oh man, that kid who I was suspicious of, I was right to be suspicious of him. And Vash runs away. And
yep.
And then we get a little flash forward to present time where he's waking up in the now, the post episode 7 world. but only to flash back to him encountering knives on a different ship full of plants that are broken. And then we get the end credits. This is laying track. This is laying track. I appreciate, reintroducing the concept of the floating ship from the end of the original series, but with a little more little more chill, a little more fun. We get a Brad who's nice. We get a new mommy girlfriend for Vash. Nothing bad could possibly happen to her.
And she doesn't start as like, "Oh, I knew you when I was 4."
That really helps. Oh, that really helps.
Thanks for realizing what's creepy, guy. Moving away.
And hey, you were the one who wanted like really explicit world building detail. How you feel about getting it? This is some lore. This is some lore.
Yes. I feel like there's a very full Wikipedia fan wiki entry on this, and grew with every episode, and guys who took intensive notes were happy.
Yeah. Guys who are putting some things together are happy to know what's going on. We're going to flip to episode 9 called Millions Knives, directed by Hiroshi Nishikiori. He did Ep 5 of this. He did episodes on Dan, Outlaw Star, and storyboards on Utena.
The opening is growing on me. I just want to say this before we hop right to the episode. It is still not, it is different, but
it's not a jam. It's not a jam, though.
No. It's not something you would play when you're about to get up to something. But if you're watching a TV show and you hear it, it's like, all right.
I'm watching the TV show.
Know where I'm at. The TV show.
And we start with Sinister Piano. Now, we've had some Sinister Piano in the past, but now we are seeing that Sinister Piano tune is in fact a four-hander, and that he needs Vash to complete its full sinisterness.
That was, So, do we know where that was initially? Would that have been on the ship?
No idea. Okay. Probably on the ship, because it's, clean and well lit. But also maybe this is just him having a hallucination. This could also be a weird psychic grief dream.
Knives psychic weird grief dream?
Shared? Who knows?
Oh, God, that'd be worse.
That'd be even worse. So, we are back at where we left the flashback last time with a room full of plants that are in very bad shape, and an understanding that if you kill a plant, it generates a lot of energy very fast before dying, and that maybe all the humans in the room think that's a good thing, that they can do something with it. And
they don't mind at all. And I'm like,
it's a finite resource, guys. Even if you don't think the weird plant aliens in jars are people, still a finite resource. You gotta consider that. Like what progress are you getting per?
I'm more of the fact that these are humanoid creatures.
Yeah, they have eyes and they make upset noises and faces at me.
Yeah.
And you guys don't seem to mind that, and you're fine with like enslaving and at this point the power balance, I have questions about the power balance in this flashback scenario, because it looks like the lab guys are like abusing knives to like push the plants harder, and he's not the boss yet.
Yeah.
At this point. But then we have Knives killing all those guys. So maybe this is him just being like, nah, I'm done with you. I've learned what I can. Now it's time to kill you, because he has the X-23 powers, or what he generates are knives.
Yeah.
He has knives coming out of his body, and he murders them with it. And something that Trigun Stampede has been doing it's been saving the title card for Well, the
Yes.
moment where you just point at the screen and it's like the screen and go, yes, they truly were Little Women now. No, it's
You go full DiCaprio.
yeah, the DiCaprio moment where they say the title or the title could most make sense. So now they say, oh, now that we've seen the knives, we're going to show you the title is Knives.
My notes
Uh,
did indicate Knives does full Wolverine scratch X-23.
yeah, yeah, full Wolverine mode. And it is at this point that Knives is like, yeah, no, I just want to kill all the people. And Vash is like, actually, plants need people or they will just do this. They'll just burn themselves out because they don't know what to do if they're not taking care of anyone. It's an
Yes.
empathy position. It's an empathy focused position. Luita
They're
shows up.
symbiotic, but people need to treat them well.
Yeah, everyone needs to take care of each other on this desert planet that's actively hostile to all life, except for the bugs. The bugs are
Yeah.
fine. They're fine.
Worms are
Luita
real
shows up.
expensive.
Luita shows
Yes.
up. She's like, "Hey, how about we don't stay here? This is bad and scary. Let's not be here bad and scary. Let's just be empathetic and help everyone and not be here." Knives then explains his position, what he believes about guns, about how humans have to kill from a distance because they're cowards. And then Vash is like, oh, well, I will use a gun because I'm on the human side and also not kill anyone because I'm on the empathetic side. Some themes going on here, some themes
Yeah.
afoot. Then Vash just gets really stressed out about the whole situation and generates a black hole, which proves that he can
Mm-hmm.
produce something, but it's a black hole.
Now, Knives seems to view Luita the same way as Graham.
Well, yeah,
Just
because
like one.
yeah,
Or do all people look the same?
no, I think because it's because it's Vash's mommy girlfriend part two. It's like, nope, I figured this out. You're doing the mom girlfriend with this woman, and I'm gonna be like, no, don't like that. I need to be your not mom girlfriend.
Sibling.
So there's some edible shit going on here.
And after Bash summons, now Knives refers to it as a gate.
Yeah, he calls it a gate. That'll probably come up soon because there's not many episodes left
Of season 1, though, right?
of
We're not.
season one.
Yeah. I'm like, they're not going to wrap this up. So much. And
We
yet,
do know there's 13 more coming, but I think it's this time next year at time of recording. So we gotta wait. We gotta wait a bit.
so Knives disarms.
Disarms him to stop the black hole from black holing. And then we just skip ahead a bit to present day, where Brad brackets old is explaining that Vash brackets not old is has been grabbed by he successfully saved the town and the orphanage, and that all his friends are in the seed ship, and that Brad's ready to help him fix his arm because it's busted, and everything will be fine. Seed 3 is
This is
still up
great.
and running. Luita and Brad are taking turns in cryo tubes, so they've lived 150 years, and they've got a garden. They are we've got Bob and Meryl looking at a garden. They're seeing grass for the first time, and Bob is like, "Yeah, this is great. This is great that you can build this really slowly. I'm really proud of you for building one acre of vegetation over 150 years. I'm sure those plants couldn't have helped anyone I know at any point, guys. I think maybe your long-term view of colonization is harmful to the fact that we live in a desert hellscape where you can get eaten by worms and shit. I need a smoke. Meryl, find me somewhere to smoke." This is the first time he's called her Meryl, which is not probably a signal of respect. It's just a signal that he's stressed out and needs somewhere to smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she'll accept that. She likes that.
She appreciates that she actually had a name for the first time in 10 episodes. Brad is talking about the value of nonviolence. We cut back to Wolfwood and Vash arguing about the principles of nonviolence. And Brad just says, "No, this dude's like magic. He's allowed to be nonviolent in a way you can't be because he's magic.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'll beat anyone to death with a wrench at a drop of a hat." I love that the new Brad's weapon of choice is wrench.
Yeah.
But
Pick something and be good with it.
you make it your thing. But before Wolfwood and Vash can decide anything, off screen, the worm beings have stolen Bob and Meryl. They've just stolen them, and
yes,
and
they seem none the worse. Where?
Yeah, they seem pretty fine. They seem pretty fine. They've brought them to Knives' new hideout, or maybe the hideout from last time. Unclear. But that Zazie explains that Zazie the Beast is in fact the face of the hive intelligence of all of the worms. And it's like, hey, we've got some people in jars and some people not in jars, and you're new to my planet, and I don't know if either of you are good. I, the face of all the worms, would like you to explain your side to me, because I've heard the people in jars side of things vis-a-vis not from Knives, not from Vash, just from Knives. And I'm like, okay, you're new here. I'll hear you both out. I have thousands of giant worms. I'll just eat you if I don't like your choices. He's a reasonable god emperor, unlike that Paul Atreides.
We see a lot more of his face than I expected.
And we reveal that Knives has even more dead plants than before. We don't know for why, and we're on a cliffhanger.
Now, the phrase "third of 7 cities."
Yes.
Does that mean he has 7 of these ships full of dead plants, or were there 7 total of these types of ships, and the third one has been converted by Knives into a storage? Or does that seem like something that will be cleared up at some point?
I think they're going to clear it up, but I will say that based on the manga, it is 7 ships full of colonists. This is perhaps the third of 7.
All right. I do love Zay's use of worms as an audio-visual display. Very organic.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, very modern. They're not doing the single story eps. They're not saying, all right, in this episode, they go to a town. There are weird people there. They help them.
Yeah. Here's the gunfight episode.
Yeah.
Here's the one. Here's the hot springs. We're not getting a hot springs episode, I think.
I'm feeling upset about that.
I mean, I'm not saying every anime needs a hot springs episode, but you could consider having a hot springs episode.
I suspect as a cultural thing, they kind of appreciate it. It's like just like American shows. They're going to play baseball this episode. In Japan, they're going to a hot spring. A nice wedding would be good.
The
you
wedding.
Go to a wedding and there are hijinks.
Oh, what about one where they all get stuck in an elevator?
They all get caught in a cabin in the middle of a snowstorm, and someone there's trouble. And then Wolfwood shoots them. Okay, so this doesn't work as well.
What if they all have a bet to quit something they care about? That's another good one. So we got 3 episodes left, Justin. Where do you think we're at?
I don't know. As you said, there's a whole. We're like 3 episodes from the mid-season.
Yeah, this is it.
And the story and the exposition is so much different. Like at the end, I presume they will have another big end of season cliffhanger, and we'll think Vash is dead. We'll think Vash has joined Knives. We'll learn something about their relationship, or the characters will learn something. It's different, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's different.
I think, this show has shown itself to be willing to deviate from the manga a bit, even though it's drawing a lot more from the manga than others. I do think Livio will be back before the end, and I do think that means if Livio comes back, Wolfwood will be dead. That's my big bet for the next 3. I think they do kill Livio will kill Wolfwood off.
Wolfwood is different in this show.
Yeah.
I mean, I do not love him as much as I did in the originals.
Well, we haven't
So
seen it. We don't get to see him do anything warm in this. Really, is a
yeah,
big part of it. We have his flashbacks where he's warm, but right now he's just been belligerent in every dialogue scene.
so mean to Vash.
So
I
mean
mean,
to everyone.
when he
Yeah.
says needle noggin, I don't think he means it with love.
No, it's not an affectionate needle noggin. This is not the needle noggin that calls you to pull the gun out of the ground that saves his day. No,
Yeah.
it's just you being a jerk. You're just being loud and a jerk right now.
But very enjoyable as its own thing.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm still interested in it. I still like it.
Yeah.
I think I gotta like next episode. I'll unpack my feelings because this show is semi autobiographical for me. Sammy. I could. I'm glad how I have not indulged me talking about. Oh yeah, no, I have to understand myself through my old pop culture favorites.
Do you have a sibling I don't know about, Scott?
No, no.
Okay,
Well, I have a sister. We don't murder each other over anything.
good. I
Yeah.
picked up on I noticed a couple things. There were some really good lines in each of the episodes. Like in the first one, they had the one about, I'll hurt you so bad you wish you were dead before I kill you. That I mean, there's a lot implied that gets said out loud in that, so that's good. At some point, someone says we all have a blank ticket with no listed destination. Very deep, very profound. Dig that. And in the most recent one, I think Knives says, no matter how comfortable, chains are still chains, which I think makes me, you feel a lot more for Knives in this if you believe that, if you acknowledge that the plants are creatures which deserve, if not
Any
human treatment,
rights?
humane treatment.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I'm a meat eater, Scott, so
yeah.
I know that frequently my life depends on poor treatment of empathetic creatures. And it's a thing that I'm still trying to deal with, and I hope I will someday be able to handle before I come to the end of my journey. But, I still struggle with that. I don't get the sense that these scientists feel that about these plants. And I know that chickens and pigs don't, they make noises when they're upset and things. So I feel bad about that, knowing it
Cows
happens.
cows have friends.
Yes, yeah.
Cows like if you have free range cows, they will form little hangout buds. They will form hangout groups where it's just like, no, these two cows are friends. They go wander off on their own.
Beef ribs aren't that good. I don't know.
I mean, I ate a lot of burgers. I made a point of doing like every recipe in the Bob's Burgers cookbook.
Very cool.
I don't know if it would have been as good if I wasn't like if I was using the impossible patties, gonna say. Jumping back to
Uh,
the second line you pulled out, that is from Rem. It is also
yes.
from they do use that in the Sand Steamer episodes in the
Okay.
original. It's
Ah,
but this is much more expanded and it's she presents it as like a fable to little baby Vash and Knives in this. And it's like, oh, you're dialing that up. You're saying that you can like, hey, again, it's like, hey, self determination. That's your end goal, guys. You can do that. You don't have to be what anyone tells you, which is great sort of principle for writing fiction as a general arc. But like expanding that and turning that into a whole story that's like a fairy tale, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
yeah. No, it is being very enjoyable. And once again, the animation, very. I don't know if it's good. I am enjoying watching it aesthetically. It pleases me. It looks
Well,
good.
we should at some point we will do because there's three studios that do a lot of entirely CG animation. Orange is one of them. There's another studio, Polygon Pictures. They did a bunch of Godzilla movies. We could do one of those just to see how they excel in different directions. And then
You had
there's
me at
this,
Godzilla, Scott.
yeah, there's Godzilla. There will be Godzillas. And then there's another one. I forget the name, but um, they do a show called My Cat is Depressed.
Oh, God.
It's like it's a sitcom. The cat is very large and acts like a person, and it hangs out with its office lady owner, and uh they are what the studio that makes it is kind of known for is like, oh, because it's a CG model, we can put the camera anywhere and we can put a bunch of lens effects on it, and they just do that all willy-nilly. It's like, why is this scene in a fisheye lens from the perspective of someone's foot? Because it's just as easy for them to do that as to have like a 4 foot high 180, like, 90-degree two shot. They all shots are equally easy for them, so they just pick some, and I'm like, why you do
They
that?
can do it. 'Cause
Again,
they can.
yeah. So busy figuring out if you could, never figuring out if you should. But it's just a comedy about like a large cat that fries rice for you or whatever. Anyway,
Fries rice or which cries rice?
fries rice.
Okay.
He works in the kitchen. He wears a little apron.
Is that a Crunchyroll, Scott?
I don't know. It might be on High Dive. I will let you know.
Because my curiosity has got beep.
I've only read the manga, and the manga's fun because it's just like I don't know. It's a weird flip on Garfield kind of, where it's like the cat cares about you, and that's weird, as opposed to Garfield, where
Loves you and he hates lasagna. How does that work?
How does that work? How does a cat love people and hate lasagna? Anyway, I want to say thank you for listening. I want to say thank you for doing the podcast things, rating, reviewing, recommending. Check out our sponsor, check out our crowdfunding option, and otherwise, I have been Scott Walker.
I remain just tomorrow.
And I think we will see you in a bit for the next episode.